Hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valerie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm joined with hubby.
Cat.
And today we're going Gothic.
I like that.
Gothic. I do too. I'm so excited to do this one. Now I'm working on an 8x10 basswood that's 3/8 inch thick because this one, let me pull up the full color photo, is a dark one. Let me click this off. Maybe. There we go. No. There we go. It is a dark one, just like in the thumbnail. Now, I made the pattern, and I also shared the pattern with my YouTube membership group, which if you click join down below the video, you can get this pattern for free. In fact, I've decided all community patterns I'm going to give our special toasties the pattern for free. So what we got here is this transferred. It was a lot. It took a little while to make this pattern. And I drew everything out. I had to lighten the photo in order to see what was going on, which looked like that. To see all the patterns going on. These are a lot of flowers, but because we've got it on a curved surface, they stretch out. They get deformed based on where they're at in the pattern. Now the dark blue in the pattern is just so you can see for the toasties and for me to see where the lightest areas, the raised areas were. That way we didn't get lost in them, because if you look at this, though I know it's kind of hard to see this pattern on here, but it's a lot going on here. Hey Kathy, Sheila, Spence, Andrea. Did I see it? No. So I also have a printed version over here, which you guys can't see. It's the exact same thing as this, just so I can make sure I'm going along with it correctly. I also have two photos. One, they're the lighter version, because I'm not going to even get to the dark till I'm at the end. So the lighter version in both color and sepia, so I can see the detail and the base tonal value. So we got that going on, and it's a lot. I've also got it on my phone in case I need it. I got special tea going on to make sure I'm not coughing the whole time.
I got special tea going on.
Oh, you do have special tea.
Oh wait, it's special?
Mine's special.
Oh, mine's not that special.
Mine's special. And I'm heating up the 18S, because I think we're going to go ahead and start with the eyes. Now this is I really love this photo. It is so cool. Excuse me. So, I'm heating up to start blocking this in. I'm still going to put in the flowers that are on this side, because if you look at the dark photo, let me see here. Click that off. If you look at the dark photo, all this is dark. All this is dark, and you don't see it. I haven't decided how dark I'm going to go, and that's why I did the pattern in the lighter version for the toasties the way I did. That way they had options if they didn't want to go as dark and still have detail. In fact, in the photo, you don't see that there's a second rose here. You can barely see the full rose here. So I'm just looking forward to all of our textures. And we got a lot of them. So we're going to get started with the eye. And our light shadow, our light is coming from this direction. So everything on the inside is going to be dark, because it's going to be darker because the light isn't going to hit it. So I bumped up to 3. Again, this is basswood, so it burns darker. And I'm using the tip of the 18S. And we're just going to start putting this in. And then I think what I'm going to do is start focusing on negative burning some of the flowers above it, because that's going to be key to this. Negative burning is going to be our biggest. Let's see here, see my skull.
Wow. So Ray Telford is here.
Hey Ray!
He's been in a while. He says long time no watch.
Aw, I'm glad you're back.
And Kathy Grimes says, hi guys. Kathy out Wickenburg Way is here.
Yes, she's down.
Wickenburg Way?
That's outside of Phoenix.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a small town outside of Phoenix. So we're going to get that in there, and I'm not going my full darkness. I need to be able to adjust. I did lengthen of the photo down in the description if you want to burn along. Now, the orbital socket of our skull is, well, orbital. It's a ball, so we need to make sure our strokes match that. So even though this is a resin skull, this isn't a real skull. We still have texture and direction going on in here. So I'm just going to it's going to be a bigger curve along the edges, and then as we get more into the center, it's going to be much less of a curve to follow this. A lot of people were excited about this, so hopefully they'll burn along with us.
Yeah. So wait, so an orbital sander, is that for sanding eye sockets?
Amongst other things.
Oh, I like that.
And so we do have texture, though we don't see a whole lot of texture in the final photo. We do actually have a lot of texture in here. The way they painted it, we can see the different strokes, and they kind of antiqued it on the inside of the orbit of the space. That would just be easier for me to say. So I'm using half the tip, I would say, from the tip to the middle, and I'm dragging down. And that's why I'm getting different strokes. They're a little lighter because I'm not concentrating with just the tip that has the most heat. Try to smooth this out just a bit. And of course, turn your board to match the direction you want to burn, because standing on your head and burning is very uncomfortable. And so this line here is a lighter line, so I'm just going to go quickly over it.
Did you already say what wood you're burning on?
Basswood. I have it linked down in the description. I cut this piece down to 8 by 10.
Now, where's this one from?
It's from the finest North American basswood company. It's the one that I did nausea on as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And see, right on this line, I need to go a medium dark to blend it down.
Sorry about that.
And get it a little blended out. I can even use my circle strokes to do that. My ovals. And then go out the lightest on the edge.
I feel like this is going to go quicker today.
Oh, we'll see. So we have a light area here, and then we have the lightest area is right here in the middle, where we're getting some light shine in the socket. So we need to make sure, move our pin quicker, do some ovals, kind of blend out, because I still want a little dark here. So let's lighten it up a little bit, blend it out. And then our lightest area is where the light can directly hit. We don't have as much I can't say the word right now.
Reflective?
Thank you, that'll work too. Reflective light going on. So, and the faster that you move your pen, the lighter the burn's going to be, even if you don't adjust your heat setting. So we'll get that in there. And that goes darker here. It lightens up. Now, the burning right now is looking a little grayish. That happens with basswood a lot. When you seal it, it should all even out in color. So our darkest spot is right here in the back. Now it already looks dark, but I can actually go darker. And we're going to be using the dark background. That's going to take a while, because that's going to take actually several layers of burning to build it up so it doesn't look so flat. We want it to have some life to it. I don't know how well if they can see nausea at all behind you. I'm not going to pull her off. It's too big.
It's pretty small.
Well, no, the
it's smaller
frame.
than me, and I look like a hobbit, so.
Yeah, but it looks bigger than your head on camera.
Because I'm a hobbit.
You look like one. So this will be a back and forth with this area being darker, and we need to blend out because we don't have any, based on my light photo, harsh lighting, but I would come back to that. So now we are going to quickly switch over, lower our heat, and we're going to come up here and start doing some negative burning up here. And I just got my lighter one here.
Sorry for the sniffing.
Why are you sniffing so much? Oh, you ate.
Well, no, I didn't eat. Didn't.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know. Alrighty. So I've got my medium ball tip because I do have a large area. And I'm waiting for that to heat up. And we're going to start putting in the negative burn around these flowers. But what I'm going to quickly do is pull up the actual photo. Yeah. Bro can't make it today. It's okay. Alrighty. So we are going to go here in between the flowers. And then as we shade, that shading at the base is what's going to bring up the, make it look raised like we want it to. Alrighty. Oh, because the ball tip has more metal on the end, I can go ahead and go up to 2.5. I've got a piece of basswood that I'm testing on the side here. Alrighty, let's see if we can get lost in this. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit, get the camera out of my face so they can see. Alright. So I'm just going to make a bunch of oval strokes in here because we do have texture on this skull, so we don't want it smooth here. The ball tip is going to allow us to get that texture in between these little flowers, and you can go different sizes of the tip. I am going to at some point have to switch over to the small and probably the 9M. These flowers are really hard to see on some of them. Let's see here. But definitely still doable. Now the bigger you make this burning, the easier the details will be. We're going in for really small details here. So up along here is where we've got our raised area, so that will go darker. I can just kind of tap that in. In fact, I'd probably there we go. Trying to make sure I don't get lost. Once I take my time and just pay attention to where I'm at, we'll be good. In fact, switching over to the small ball tip might actually make things a little bit easier. Which also means lowering my heat, because I know the ball tip is going to require less heat than the medium, the smaller. Excuse me. Alright, switch quickly over here and go down to 1.5. Let's see. We'll get in even closer without burning myself. See, just moving it a little bit changes the color on the video because of how the light hits the wood.
Yeah.
Some people.
It's a lot clearer though.
Is it? Okay. Alright, so 1.5. Again, remember, basswood does not require a higher heat. Get into these smaller areas, just doing ovals. You could even do pointillism with this one, and I think it would look really cool. It would, huh? It would take a while, but it would be really cool.
Teresa, Luke's singer's here.
Hey, Teresa.
She got some bad news.
Oh.
Unfortunately, she had a friend passed away.
I'm so sorry.
So she will not be staying for the live.
I totally understand, and I'm so sorry.
Our condolences. Sorry to hear that.
That's always hard. Staying in between. Well, let us know if you need anything, please. We got a small flower in here. This area is probably going to go a little bit darker, but in tapping it in, I have room to alter. Easier to fix if I mess up, which is probably inevitable. At some point, I will always make some kind of oops. It's whether or not you see that oops or how I let it affect me that makes the difference.
That's true.
So right now I'm just tapping in because these are such small areas. I'm just tapping in. Let's see here. These. Just tapping in. You can use the 9M for this. It will definitely get you into the smaller detail areas.
Alright, Teresa's gotta go.
Bye, hun.
Bye,
I'm
Teresa.
so sorry. It's always hard. And tap around. So I'm just tapping around in the small areas. It gives me that wiggle room I'm going to need on this one. Once you start having the muscle memory from drawing the pattern and then transferring the pattern, which, if you remembered, all you have to do is transfer, things get a little easier. So I have a little bit of muscle memory from doing this. So it's thinner. In some area, and I also had to transfer this pattern with a smaller lead. So in here where I needed a small detail, I used a 0.4 millimeter lead and my mechanical pencil to transfer. And that just allowed me to have thinner lines. Which thinner lines will also make it easier to erase. And I'm using H lead. Excuse me. So we're getting some pattern in here. It's coming.
I feel like this, despite its complexity, I feel like this project is going to go quickly.
You know, it's easy for you to say that.
That's just my observation.
Well, because right now we're just doing a small area.
Yeah.
So it makes it look more done. So yeah, I've got a line right here from our raised flower. I'm just going to tap that in. And also with tapping in versus outlining, it makes it a lot easier to blend in the lines. And by going light, I have all the ability to adjust.
How's our sound quality today, guys?
Oh yeah. I did check. Let's see here. So now she's done. I am looking at reframing her though. Don't like how it's framed. We got options for that, so there we go. Kind of lost the small area in here. I'm guessing we need to talk in order for them to really tell us what's going on with our audio.
Well, you've been talking though.
Alrighty. So we have a dark spot, and I'm guessing maybe. I don't think our skull has these dots right here. That may be from the casting. So we needed to. I don't need to decide right now if I want to put it in there or not.
No.
Kind of breaks it up, but I'm not sure if I want it. So even these, if you look at the photo, it looks like there's grime in between the flowers. So doing the taps and just tapping in also helps with that texture just like the ovals. See, look at that. It looks like we got a bit of sand or dirt going on, and then when I go in and darken areas, that'll give it more depth and look more dirty. Which for this piece, we want it to look dirty. Makes it look old. Oop, I got a little heavy there because I adjusted my hand, but it's really not a big deal. In some areas I can do the ovals, and then I can do some of the tap downs, which is how you do pointillism, and that mix it up. We'll mix it up. So how many people are in the chat are going to be doing this piece?
We'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Well, Kathy says good to hear as far as audio, so that's
okay,
good.
good. I restarted the computer before the live.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there anything that could be interfering that I was working with or whatever was shut down. Restarted. Now, if you look, some of the areas that will make it 3D are the highlights as well, because that's where the rays and the light is hitting it, whereas some areas it's going to be the darks that do it. We're just taking our time and paying attention to where what is at will help. So with this one we have the skull. We have a dark background. We have the rose petals, which that's a whole nother texture. And then we have the books. So we got a lot going on with this one.
The children love the books.
Children love the books. So we got a lot going on.
I just realized how loud this chair is.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't intentional.
So 1, 2, 3 flowers. Sometimes counting your flowers helps. So until I get all the background of the skull tapped in, drawn in, burned in,
Yeah.
I really shouldn't do any of the shadows. I did it here, and that's not a big deal. But I shouldn't be putting in heavy darks until we get everything else in, because things will change. So if I start putting all those darks in now, and something happens, I'm kind of stuck a little bit, and I don't want to be stuck. So that's why I'm just bouncing around and just trying to do the negative burn to get in the background of the skull.
Well, Spence says he'll be doing it eventually after he gets caught up on his other ones. He's still setting up his place. So, which is understandable.
Yes.
Because you just moved, so.
Yeah. Well, Teresa found this photo, and I'm really glad she did.
Oh, this is Teresa.
This is the one Teresa found on Unsplashed.
Oh, okay. Good job, Teresa.
Mm-hmm. She left.
Spence, no, Beryl can't make it today.
Yeah. Get these shapes. Making this 3D is what's really going to feel awesome about it. Just tapping in between. Trying to be careful with the strokes. I did try to go as light as I could also on transferring the pattern to make it easier to get things erased. Like right here, I can actually bring this line in. Then when I go to erase, hopefully a lot of camera keeps itching my face. I'm right on it so I can see. Some squigglies in between here. Break up pointillism, so it doesn't, we don't want any lines. We don't want rows and rows of dots, because that won't look right. So we can blend them in. So we don't have to worry about that. Move quickly. So again, I'm on 1.5. And then next week, I think. Do you guys want books or petals next week?
Books or petals, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, because the skull, this is just going to be over and over again until we do the dark background. There's really not much. This is just a very...
So you'd probably be doing the pattern off camera, or not off
Yeah.
camera, but not on live.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep working on it and hopefully get all this filled in. Hopefully by next week. That way we can see what's going on. Some of these might be a little hard to see. But this negative burning is what's helping the most.
Andrea says books.
Books? Okay. He's a special toasty, so what they say gets first priority. So books it shall be.
The children love the books. Soon, right? I can't believe we're already moving into... Well, we're not winter yet, but we're in fall.
We just started fall.
Well, I know, but you know what I mean.
What I'm bummed about is not having trick-or-treaters.
Well, that is what it is.
I still think I'm going to do my plan of wrapping some candy in saran wrap in little pouches and put it out so they don't have to touch anything if somebody comes by. The children don't miss out.
Do you want me to get candy next time I go to the store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of it.
I'm sure.
There's already Christmas stuff though, too.
It's not time yet.
We're not even done with Halloween. We're not even
Yeah,
to
it's
Thanksgiving
started.
yet.
We haven't even gotten into October until...
Pretty soon, we're just going to be selling Christmas stuff all year round.
Don't give them any thoughts.
We probably already have it.
Let's see. I'm just going to quickly put in... Because some of these lines we see from the petals.
Well, Kathy from Wickenburg Way says, books please.
Alrighty. Then books it shall be. Doing books. So right here we got these little tiny flowers. I'm trying not to lose them. Little tiny flowers. Some of this is really small, so the 9M, I'm just going to have to skip that area and come back to it. So now I think we'll focus real quick on the big flower here. The easiest way is going to start in the middle and work our way out. I think that'll be the easiest way to not lose ourselves. And the flower itself, again, really light. I'm just tapping in. Just tapping in because we got shadow around the petal. And some of them, the little petals have these little indent thingies that come off of it, so I'm trying not to lose those. Trying not to lose them. Just tapping. If you feel more comfortable with a little bit of outline, I know I am a broken record on not outlining, but if you tap in like this on a really low setting for your wood, then you can blend out. You'll still have your realism that you wanted, and then you'll feel, but at the same time have the feeling a little bit more comfortable about what you're doing. So even now I'm kind of losing some of my... See, this part's raised. Where it's raised, it's lighter. So I'm going to tap this in. I mean,
you haven't drank any of your tea.
I've had a couple of sips. But right now, I'm trying to not lose what I'm doing. Face ache, face ache. I think we'll stick to one side here. It'll make it easier for me to focus on one side. So we got raised parts of our petals. So where it's furthest from the light, or where it would get dirt, if this was a real skull in the ground that was dug up, the creases would get dirt. And that's what we're looking at here. Yeah, see, these areas are definitely darker in here. So I might just switch over. So I have a little bit more control in the small areas. So we'll switch over real quick. Plus my hand needs a break. I should have it already plugged in. No, I do not. What did I do with that?
What are you plugging in?
I'm putting in the 9M.
Ah.
I put it off to the side. So I can get into these tiny areas. Alright, so I can take a sip of tea. It's just over and over and over again. There is a straight edge I want to try out when we get to the books next week. This, although it's very flimsy in aluminum, I'm wondering how well this does with the burning pen. So we're going to test that out next week, besides using our glass. Alright. Did I not go? No, I did not heat up the right pen. That's always fun. What you drawing? Excuse me. What you drawing?
Drawing stuff and things.
You're drawing stuff and things?
Secret project. Super secret. Super duper secret. No one can know.
No one can know.
Ever.
Alright. Alright, let's get this up in here. So this, I can also use this pen to tap in some of the darker areas. And again, I don't want straight lines if I can help it. Now there is the 9 PP, and that is a very sharp pen tip, pointy, but I don't tend to like it as much because it really can dig into the wood. I don't like that. I had to use it for not just doll. Alright, so we get to go darker in here because our flower actually shows darker lines. So put that in there. We got a white line. Right. Draw that in. This one I am making a solid line because it shows us a solid line.
Andrea is asking about, are we still doing broadcasts on Monday? No, we're not.
No. No, we tried it and it wasn't quite working for us.
And Kathy says you kids look cold. Maybe, I'm not chilly right now, but I was before this.
Oh.
It's a chilly day this morning.
Well, it was 35 when we got up.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
My fave.
Yeah.
And since I closed off my studio soon enough, we kept some of the coolness.
We both like the cold weather. So.
Mm-hmm.
Always preferable, in my opinion.
Although I'm not looking forward to having to run the heater. Because that means it got too cold in here. So right here, I'm actually going to put some shadow so we can really see what it looks like when we push up one of these petals. Let's see if that goes around. So again, tap, tap, tap.
Andrea says cool football time.
Yeah, I know that would have hurt us too. We don't watch football though.
Ah. That's true. Where I grew up, we didn't have football. Well, we had it. Sounds like I'm really poor, huh? But we kind of were. Our school was so small, right, that we couldn't have like real football games. Like we had a couple like games like with the whole school, but that was like with the grade school kids too. So you know.
I grew up in the South. Football. Couldn't get away from it. So on one side is where we would have the flowers sticking up. So hopefully this is coming across on the screen of these little stems starting to pop out.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I could go a little closer.
It is.
I put the pen down so it don't burn my face.
Oh, how long are we going today?
Oh, I didn't realize we gone over.
40 minutes.
Yeah, I'll continue recording doing this so I can put speed.
You know, Andrea, we really don't have like ice hockey here. I mean,
I like ice hockey.
We do.
Down at Phoenix.
Well, I was gonna say if I wanted to play it, I could go to
you can do
the
it
arena here.
Mm-hmm.
But I played roller hockey, and I enjoy that.
My older son adores hockey.
Yeah.
Grew up playing lacrosse and street hockey. Actually, he plays ice hockey. He used to play ice hockey too. For fun, not. Alright, so see, I'm trying to tap in. And right now, we're starting to have these lighter areas pop up at us. So that's really cool. We'll do the books next week, which we have some books that are damaged. This one looks like a new book.
Well, hopefully
I like that.
Hopefully we'll have some children watching the live stream. Because the children love the books. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch Elf.
Gosh.
You have to deal with me. You married me. Remember? Remember that time you married me?
A book! There.
Oh, yeah, it is.
There. My turn.
Yeah.
My turn. Book. Alrighty. So we can see the red, the tonal values for the red, and we'll get all into that next week. But I should, hopefully, fingers crossed, have our head in there. We will be revisiting the head later, the skull, because when we go really dark, we're going to have to do that on the skull. We got any final questions? Ooh, that doesn't look good on camera.
I think everybody was pretty focused watching you today.
Quiet.
Yeah.
So I'll probably. So by just tapping in and doing ovals, it started filling it in, and then I could control based on how close, the speed and size of my dots and ovals to get a darker. Granted, I did switch over to the 9MP, and see this. I have to. It's called the needle point. You can see the difference between those two. Hopefully I can get it to focus. Between those two. I mean, that's like a little... You can kind of file it down to soften it up, but it is a literal needle. I could hurt myself with that if I kept doing that. And probably would. So...
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. I can do a little erasing, I think.
Kathy says it's looking great.
Thank you.
Spence says thanks, and looking good as always. You are too kind, both of you.
You are. Thank you. I've got the wood link down below. It's not sponsored. I'm not getting paid for it. I buy my wood like the rest of you guys do. But there's a 10% off if you're interested in trying the basswood out. Again, this is the 3/8 inch to make it so it doesn't bend as much. For the darks, the 1/8 does bend a lot. The 1/8 would probably be better for lighter burns or ones that don't have the heavy dark.
Well, Andrea says that she's going to try this one now.
Awesome. I'm so glad.
Cool. I can't wait to see all of the
I know.
community ones. To see how
I
they turn
know.
out.
I know they'll all be awesome, but I can't wait to see.
Yep.
Yeah, makes me excited about that. And you've got the pattern under it, so if you need to alter your pattern, by all means, I try to. It's very detailed, so I try to make it more understandable. But if there's something you need to adjust on it, by all means do so. Won't hurt my feelings. And we will do the books next week.
Awesome.
I gotta figure out which book. We might start here in the middle.
You know what? I know which one.
What?
One of them.
Alrighty, guys. Say it with me. Say it loud and proud. You're awesome.
No time.
You can do this.
Oh, yeah, you can do this.
Why? Because you're a pyro artist.
Awesome.
Happy burning, guys. Bye. Alrighty.